All right. Envision yourselves driving down the highway. You're driving down to school, trying to make it on time because you got a speech that day with Richard Kirkland, and you're running late. And as you're on the highway, you see this big old diesel truck drive up alongside you. And as you take a glance at it, you see a big old cloud of smoke. And you wonder to yourself, what is that cloud of smoke? Now what that is exhaust. It's harmful gases that are emitted from the engine that are emitted into the atmosphere. Now these gases, they can have a negative effect on human health and the environment. So with that being said, today I'm going to be explaining to you guys the advantages of owning an electrical vehicle versus a gasoline or diesel powered vehicle. So let's talk about how the combustion cycle works and how these harmful gases are emitted into the atmosphere. So inside of the engine, you got a combination of air, fuel, and heat mixture. Now what that is inside of the combustion chamber, it essentially creates an explosion. And that explosion creates power that's transmitted through the drivetrain to the wheels. So with that being said, the gases that are emitted are carbon monoxide and nitrous oxide and various other gases as well. And these can be very harmful to one's health. They can mess up your air alignment system by causing like bronchitis or asthma, or they can also cause you to get a more life-threatening disease like cancer. Now, when it comes to electrical vehicles, they don't emit emissions into the atmosphere. The way it works is they are battery powered, and the battery is like a car in one of your vehicles. The battery, it just has numerous batteries that power the motor, and it's an electrical motor. And the way that works is it literally, the battery powers the motor, and the motor transmits the power to the wheels. And with that being said, electrical vehicles are also very, what's the word I'm looking for here? They don't damage your pocket as bad as it would with a gasoline vehicle. So you're looking at saving at least $1,000 a year, probably in gas prices, because you don't have to fill it up. And another plus is that when the battery is depleted and you need to recharge it, you can simply just plug it into your wall and you're good to go. Let it charge and do your thing. Another thing is they are silent. They do not create a lot of noise. They're very smooth, don't make no sound at all. An example would be one time I was changing out a throttle body on my Mustang, and when you do this, what the throttle body is it's where the air passes through whenever you step on the gas pedal, that goes into the engine. And whenever you do this process and you change it out, you gotta adjust the throttle positional sensor. And what that is it basically, when your vehicle is at idle, it will idle smoothly. Now, along with this process, you need to let the car run for 20 minutes. So me and my brother changed out this throttle body, and my Mustang is cammed, so it's very loud, kind of like the vehicles you hear in the parking structure revving every morning, making all the alarms go off. Letting it run for 20 minutes, sitting there at idle, my neighbor decides to come down and start hassling me about how loud my engine is and I need to shut it down, and this is not that kind of neighborhood. And we got into a little dispute. Out of respect, I ended up shutting down the vehicle. However, my point being is, if I had an electrical vehicle that didn't require maintenance, little to no maintenance, and doesn't make as much noise, I wouldn't have had to deal with my neighbor hounding me about a loud vehicle. So with that being said, I hope that you guys understand the advantages of owning an electrical vehicle and the negative effects that a gasoline or diesel powered vehicle can have on our health and the environment. Thank you.
Yes. Boys. That's a good one. That's like I have a bunch of people.
Yeah, but I didn't know anyone. This is like, guys. I think it's exciting.
So Kimberly, some comments?
I really think for the structure, I think that he could have been a little bit more organized. In the beginning, he started out really well, but then he kind of got lost within his speech, where he kind of didn't really know where to go next when he started talking about the differences between both of them. I definitely didn't hear any citations, so I can't really say that your speech was, I wouldn't say authentic, but what's the word? Somebody help me.
Substantive?
Yeah, exactly. Credible, there you go. So I can't really know whether it's credible or not. It kind of seems like you just piggybacked off of your personal knowledge from cars, but I definitely do think you trying to use humor within your speech was a little bit more uplifting, so to make your way around it. So some of the couple of things you might want to work on.
All right, well, basically we got a problem solution thing. The problem is the gas-powered cars have problems and electric cars fix those particular problems. The discussion of what the problems are with gas-powered cars is very limited. It basically, they've got carbon monoxide and nitrous oxide, and that's potentially a risk of illness, and that's as much information as we get on it. I don't know how much. I don't know how much the risk is. I don't know how many people are affected by this. And that's, I think, a little bit problematic. We've had these kinds of cars for a long period of time. There's probably an impact on the environment that's easy to quantify and look at now. Some sort of estimate about the impact that it has on the culture in general. On individual basis, everybody here is, maybe there's one or two people in here who have electric cars, but most people who are driving a car currently are driving an internal combustion engine, and we're all sitting there going, well, I'm not sick, so I'm not exactly sure why I should be worrying about this. If I was sitting in the car, with the hose stuck in the car, the carbon monoxide, then I'd be worried about it. But, in the background environment, how dangerous is it? There's stuff that talks about those kinds of things. You need to give us some information about that. And then you're all on the electrical vehicle and how it's going to solve these problems. I'm going, well, where's the power for the electric vehicle come from? That electricity has to be generated somehow, and the question is, do we get a trade-off? If it's generated using the kinds of things that are currently producing all of these harms that you're talking about, like if we're using gasoline and coal and all those other kinds of things to produce the electricity, haven't we just changed the point at which things are being released in the atmosphere and creating a particular problem for ourselves? Maybe it's less, I don't know. I need some information on that, and you don't really have any information on that. You do kind of personalize it a little bit, and I appreciate that. That makes it a little bit more interesting. You talk about some other problems or some other advantages, I should say, with having these kinds of vehicles. I think your car that you're working on is a particular problem. If I left my car running for 20 minutes, I probably wouldn't have the problem with my neighbor because it's not idling at the same kind of ratio that your Mustang is and making the noise that it's making. My neighbor runs his damn truck all the frickin' time. It's a diesel truck. It's pretty damn loud, but it's not that loud. It's not. I haven't had to yell out the window, "Turn your damn truck off." But even if I did, I'm not exactly sure that the electric vehicle is going to solve that problem. He's a noisy son of a gun anyway. All right, the presentation's relatively solid. You do a good job looking at the audience and talking to us. That's fine. All right, I'll stop there.